Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter what happens, setbacks, failures, uncertainty, you will not break. Not because life is easy, but because your mind is strong enough to handle anything. See, resilience isn't something we're born with, it's something we build. It's not about avoiding difficulties, it's about developing a mindset that sees them as stepping stones. And today I want to share 5 daily practices that will help you build an unbreakable mindset. Most people wake up thinking about their to-do list, but high achievers wake up thinking about their why. Goals are great, but they can shift. Purpose? That's your foundation. Every morning, ask yourself, why does this work matter? Who am I doing this for? When you root your actions in purpose, you don't just stay motivated, you become unstoppable. Life will test you. You will fail, struggle, and doubt yourself. But here's the secret. It's not what happens to you. It's how you see it. Great leaders, great minds, they don't avoid challenges. They lean in. They ask, what is this teaching me? How can this make me better? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Try saying, this is happening for me. Emotions are powerful. Fear, frustration, and self-doubt, they're real, and they can derail us, but only if we let them. An unbreakable mindset doesn't mean you never feel negative emotions. It means you acknowledge them, but don't let them drive the car. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a breath, step back, and respond with intention. If you only focus on what's missing, you'll always feel like you're losing. But if you take time to reflect on progress, no matter how small, you'll see how far you've come. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not just the big wins, but the small moments. The challenge that made you stronger, the person who believed in you, the lesson hidden in the failure. Gratitude doesn't just make you happier, it makes you tougher. You are a product of your environment. If you're surrounded by people who complain, doubt, or settle for less, that mindset will seep into you. But if you're around people who challenge, support, and inspire you, you rise. Most people wake up thinking about their to-do list. The meetings they have, the deadlines waiting for them, the problems they need to solve. They move from task to task, checking boxes, trying to keep up. And at the end of the day, they collapse into bed exhausted, wondering if they made any real progress. But the people who build unbreakable mindsets, the ones who don't just survive challenges but grow stronger because of them, approach their days differently. They don't start with their tasks, they start with their purpose. When you wake up with a clear understanding of why you do what you do, everything changes. The small frustrations, the setbacks, the obstacles that might have thrown you off track before suddenly become less important. Purpose creates resilience. It fuels motivation. It provides clarity. And yet, most people overlook it. Think about this. When you were a kid, you didn't need motivation to get out of bed on Christmas morning. You didn't need discipline to run outside and play with your friends. You just did it because you were excited because it meant something to you. The same principle applies to your work, your goals, and your challenges today. If you have a strong enough reason for doing something, you don't need constant reminders to stay committed. The problem is we often focus on the what instead of the why. We chase promotions, money, recognition, but we don't stop to ask ourselves what it all means. And when we don't have meaning, we burn out, we lose drive, we question whether we're on the right path. But the people who achieve the most, who make the biggest impact, anchor themselves in something deeper. They know their purpose. And because of that, they can handle anything. Consider someone training for a marathon. Waking up at 5 a.m. to run in the freezing cold isn't fun. The pain, the exhaustion, the discipline required, it's tough. But if that person is running for a cause bigger than themselves, maybe for a loved one battling an illness or to raise money for a charity they deeply believe in, the struggle becomes meaningful. The discomfort doesn't disappear, but it becomes worth it. The same applies to life. The challenges won't go away, but when you have a clear sense of purpose, you stop seeing them as roadblocks. Instead, they become part of your journey. So how do you build this habit? How do you wake up every day with purpose instead of just going through the motions? You start by asking yourself one simple question. Who am I doing this for? When the alarm goes off and you don't feel like getting up, who needs you to show up today? When you hit a setback and your motivation wavers, who will benefit from your perseverance? Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your team, your clients, or your community. Maybe it's a version of yourself you haven't met yet, the one who refuses to quit. When you tie your efforts to something bigger than yourself, resilience comes naturally. Another way to reinforce this mindset is to remind yourself daily. Write down your why somewhere you'll see it. Every morning, stick it on your mirror, your desk, your phone's lock screen. When the stress, the doubt, and the setbacks try to distract you, return to your reason. And if you don't know your purpose yet, start exploring. Ask yourself, what excites me? What impact do I want to make? What do I want to be remembered for? Purpose isn't always something you instantly discover. It's something you create. But here's the most important part. Purpose isn't just about you. The most powerful, unshakable mindsets are built not from selfish ambition, but from service. The greatest leaders, the most resilient people, the ones who refuse to quit, do what they do not just for personal success, but because they know others are counting on them. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you dive into your to-do list, stop. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who needs me to show up today? Because when you start with purpose, you don't just survive the challenges, you rise above them. Most people wake up each day and immediately dive into their tasks. They check emails, respond to messages, and start tackling their to-do lists. But the people who build an unbreakable mindset approach their days differently. They don't just react to life, they take control of their perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as things that get in their way, they see them as part of the journey. They know that every challenge, every setback, every failure is an opportunity to grow. Think about the last time something didn't go as planned. Maybe you missed out on an opportunity. Maybe you failed at something you worked hard for. Maybe someone doubted you or you doubted yourself. In those moments, you had two choices. Let it break you or let it build you. The strongest people, the ones who achieve the most and inspire others, choose the second option. They don't see failure as a reason to stop. They see it as a reason to keep going. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this teaching me? That simple shift in thinking turns frustration into growth, disappointment into resilience, and fear into action. The truth is, every great success story is filled with moments of struggle. No one who has achieved something significant has had an easy road. The difference is that they learn to use challenges as fuel instead of seeing them as signs to quit. But this isn't just about big challenges, it's about everyday struggles too. The difficult conversations, the unexpected roadblocks, the moments of doubt. These are not interruptions to success. They are part of success. The key is to approach them with the right mindset. Instead of avoiding discomfort, lean into it. Instead of seeing problems, look for solutions. The more you do this, the stronger you become. And over time, what used to shake you no longer has the same power over you. Of course, this kind of resilience isn't just about mindset, it's also about how you manage your emotions. Because no matter how strong your thinking is, emotions can still throw you off course if you don't learn to handle them effectively. The most successful people in the world don't let their emotions dictate their decisions. They don't react impulsively when they're frustrated, and they don't give up just because they feel discouraged. They have mastered emotional agility, the ability to feel emotions without being controlled by them. Emotional agility doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them drive your actions. It means recognizing fear, doubt, or frustration, but choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your goals. When something doesn't go your way, it's okay to feel disappointed, but instead of letting that disappointment stop you, use it as motivation. Instead of saying, I feel like giving up, say, this is hard, but I can handle it. This small change in how you talk to yourself can make all the difference, because your emotions follow your thoughts. If you tell yourself a situation is unbearable, it will feel that way. But if you remind yourself that you are capable, you will start to believe it. This is why self-awareness is so important. The stronger your awareness of your emotions, the easier it becomes to manage them. One way to build this skill is to pause before reacting. When something upsets you, instead of immediately responding, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or holding me back? Then choose your response. The more you practice this, the more control you gain over your emotions. And when you have control over your emotions, you have control over your actions. Resilience is not about pretending things don't affect you. It's about refusing to let them break you. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities and learning to manage your emotions in a way that moves you forward. Because at the end of the day, the people who achieve the most aren't the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to let struggles define them. And when you develop this kind of mindset, nothing, not failure, not fear, not even doubt, can stop you. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to practice this is to pause before reacting. The next time something upsets you, don't respond right away. Take a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or holding me back? That small shift in awareness gives you control. It allows you to choose a response that aligns with your goals rather than one driven by temporary feelings. But there's one more habit that strengthens an unbreakable mindset: gratitude and reflection. Because how you see your progress determines how you feel about your journey. If you only focus on what's missing, on what hasn't gone right, you will always feel like you're falling behind. But when you take time each day to acknowledge progress, to recognize lessons and failures, to appreciate the people and experiences that are helping you grow, you build confidence, resilience, and perspective. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about shifting your perspective. It's about training your mind to focus on what's working instead of what's wrong. And when you do that, setbacks feel less like failures and more like lessons. Challenges feel less like roadblocks and more like stepping stones. This is what separates those who keep going from those who quit. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's the ability to stay anchored in purpose, to see challenges as opportunities, to manage emotions with intention, and to focus on progress rather than problems. Because at the end of the day, an unbreakable mindset isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about developing the strength to handle anything that comes your way. And when you build that kind of mindset, nothing can stop you. Most people go through life reacting to the world around them. They let circumstances dictate their emotions, their actions, and ultimately their success. But the people who build an unbreakable mindset take control of their perspective, their energy, and their habits. They don't wait for the right conditions to take action. They create them. They understand that success, resilience, and personal growth don't come from external factors, but from the discipline to show up every day no matter what. It starts with purpose. Too many people focus on what they have to do and forget why they are doing it, and when challenges come, they lose motivation because they never had a strong foundation to begin with. But when you are anchored in purpose, setbacks don't shake you. They remind you why you started in the first place. The strongest people aren't the ones with the easiest path. They're the ones who never lose sight of the reason they're on the path at all. But purpose alone isn't enough. You have to develop the right mindset toward challenges, because no matter how passionate you are, life will test you. There will be failures, there will be rejection, there will be moments where everything feels like it's falling apart. And in those moments, how you interpret setbacks will define your future. The people who succeed don't see failure as the end. They see it as feedback. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I learn from this? They train their minds to see challenges as fuel rather than roadblocks. This kind of mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's built through daily habits. One of the most important is managing emotions effectively, because even the strongest mindset can be derailed by unchecked emotions. Fear, doubt, frustration. These are real. And if you don't learn to control them, they will control you. Emotional agility is the ability to recognize emotions without letting them dictate your actions. It's the discipline to pause, assess, and choose a response rather than reacting impulsively. The most successful people don't let their emotions drive their decisions. They don't let fear make them hesitate. They don't let frustration make them give up. They feel those emotions, but they don't let them take over. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to practice this is to pause before reacting. The next time you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or discouraged, don't react immediately. Take a deep breath. Step back and ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or holding me back? That small moment of self-awareness gives you power. It puts you in control. But mindset and emotions are only part of the equation. To build an unbreakable mindset, you also need to focus on progress over perfection. Too many people get stuck because they are waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of themselves before they take action. But the people who achieve the most don't wait. They move forward even when things aren't perfect. They understand that growth comes from action, not from overthinking. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. It creates hesitation, self-doubt, and fear of failure. But when you focus on progress instead, everything changes. Instead of worrying about being perfect, you focus on getting better. Instead of being afraid of mistakes, you embrace them as part of the journey. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of small, consistent efforts. The strongest minds aren't the ones who never fail, they're the ones who never stop learning. One of the best ways to reinforce this mindset is to track your progress. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do well today? What did I learn? What will I do better tomorrow? When you focus on progress rather than perfection, you build confidence, you develop momentum, and you create a mindset that refuses to break no matter what challenges come your way. At the end of the day, an unbreakable mindset isn't about avoiding struggles. It's about developing the strength to handle anything life throws at you. It's about anchoring yourself in purpose, embracing challenges as opportunities, mastering emotional control, taking action even when things aren't perfect, and focusing on progress instead of perfection. Because when you build this kind of mindset, there is nothing that can stop you.